great. That's just great.
Where'd you
I
find
mean,
that, Lana?
it comes in the video filters with
Right.
Zoom. Yeah, it's there you go. I feel normal now.
Is that the same kind of filter that Johan was using where he had gold coming out of his mouth?
Well, it's similar, except that I think he had to download that.
Okay.
But these filters that like I can show you are part of Zoom,
Oh,
like
Zoom.
this or this, like
Rainbow.
or those are on Zoom.
Okay.
Where do you find that?
Well, you go to the settings on Zoom.
Okay.
So go back to where the camera is depicted on the bottom,
Okay.
and then let's see if I could. So go to
Hmm.
the camera
Okay.
and then go to that little settings. It's a little tiny symbol way at the far right, top right of your screen, right? So when you open settings, backgrounds and filters will come up.
Oh.
So I can be in a TV, in a theater.
Oh, that's
So there's,
That's so cool.
yes. Did you
Thank
find it?
you.
Mine has nothing.
Neither do I, but it's okay. I'll figure it out later.
Lois.
Mine says none. I can rotate.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't know I could do upside down.
Oh, Lois, hello.
Hey,
Uncanny resemblance.
Happy Tuesday,
What day is today? Friday? No. How is this butterfly?
yeah,
coming
that's
to
nice,
you?
Sue. That's
How
nice.
is this coming? Is this coming from Adria?
Yes. How did you know?
Oh, it's so good to see everybody. Good morning.
Happy spring.
Happy spring.
Happy spring.
Oh, I like that one.
It's the
Good
best
one, Lois.
ever to have all of you here. And so actually, let me share a little story that's kind of bringing up this question for each of you. I just happened to be on my Instagram this morning, and I saw a beautiful picture of this little boy named Daniel. And Daniel is the nephew of one of my feng shui colleagues in England.
Mm.
Daniel is got cancer. So it's going to be it's about 5 years ago.
Wow.
And during his treatment for the cancer, unfortunately, the treatment rendered him blind.
Oh,
So
wow.
4.5 years ago, he became blind as a result of this anomaly of this cancer treatment. And it was amazing just to see how Catherine and the family are dealing with it. I mean, they were, ups and downs. I mean, here is a little boy, who's only like 4 years old, 3 years old, to be blind, from his cancer treatment. And now here he is. He's almost 8 years old, and she had a picture of him in the forest,
Mm.
and she had him like dancing in the forest with his golden cane, and one of his favorite, stories is of Harry Potter, of like being magical and whatever. So anyway, so when I saw that picture, just like it was so great to see him, just being out there and really living life to the fullest. And in spite that he's blind, and but you could see the joy in his face. Is like I am out having fun with his golden cane. So the question I'm just asking each of you, is there somebody that truly inspires you, or some event that just truly inspires you? And of course, when I saw that picture, it's like, oh, this is Spring. It was so great to see him out there. I mean, he's been through his trials, and of course, he gives me, hope and, about resilience, about living life to the fullest. So I just want to ask each one of you, is there somebody that just kind of like sparks that, just like really like, you know? So that's my question to you. I mean, that's what came to me this morning. And uh, Reverend Barbara, I see a nice smile. Can I point for you?
Well, someone might raise. We can't see if you're raising your hand, so you just have to speak up if you.
Well, there a lot of people inspire me. I can never say it's just one person, one of anything, because there's more than one person that
Yes.
inspires me throughout my life. And there are a lot of things in life that inspire me, like magic, when magic happens. I know a lot of people call it synchronicity, but when synchronicity happens, to me, it's magic. I just call that magic. And my relationship with the angelic realm, it does all of that for me, because so much happens in my life that I can say that that's the angels. And I think I might have described something once before, like if I misplace my glasses,
Right.
don't know where they are, and I just go to my heart and I talk to them and I ask them to just lead me to my glasses, and I always find them in such a short period of time. And it's not this that's looking for the glasses, it's the heart that I'm aligned with them, and it's the heart that becomes a magnet, and I'm drawn to my glasses. So it's stuff like that really inspires my life. And being in, I don't call this a group. I call this, when I come here, this is love.
Mm.
To me, this is love, and love inspires me.
Mm.
When I'm interacting with someone or a situation, and there is this frequency of love, that inspires me. It really, really does, and this little boy who is out in nature with his golden cane, and yeah, he was seeing with his heart.
Yes.
Really was seeing with his heart, and nature was embracing him.
Right.
And he could see all of nature with his heart.
Right.
And I believe that, absolutely believe that, because so much goes on in the world. And sometimes I ask myself, well, what do blind people do? For instance, if I can say this, for instance, with this thing with racism, how do blind people deal with that? So if we could only see with our hearts.
That's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, unfortunately, you're kind of like all frozen on the screen, so you'll have to just kind of like speak up or
you'll get called on.
Oh, can you see this?
Go ahead.
Okay. I did want to, the first person who came to my mind, hello, who inspired me when you told me about the blind musician. No, when you told about the blind boy, I'm thinking of a lot of blind musicians I know. They are unbelievable, knowing everything from heart, learning music through the fingers, having big books with Bach, Toccata, and Fugue, with little notes on it, and reading it and remembering it very well. And a lot of them have a perfect pitch. So I think if you are losing one sense, the others have to work. I know that a little from my own childhood, because I couldn't see very good when I was very young. and they found it out when I was 3 or 4 years old. And I think that's why my other sense, the hearing, is working more and seeing more. And there's also this ability that you can see music in color. So this is what a lot of blind musicians told me, that they hear color. So there's you have to expand your senses. Yeah.
Hello.
Good.
Then another person who inspired me very, what do you say? Sneeze, help
Hi.
on your, okay. The other person that inspired me was, I was working as an aide when I was a student at the university. I was working as an aide for a person who was really handicapped, and this handicap he had was progressive. So he knew that it would never be better. And I worked for him as a 12 hours aide, and then he had always 2 shifts. And this person, Gerd, I knew he knew that it would never get better, but he fought for his life. He was, doing gymnastics and going swimming. And this was so impressive, just to stop or to reduce his handicap. This was a life lesson for me, for example.
Yes, it's so interesting when people lose sense, or they lose a physical aspect of themselves. Other, there's something within themselves that brings out, abilities that just brings out, these magic and miracles about, living life to the fullest. And I love what you say, Jochen, even though he may be blind, but you see the color of the music, or you hear music from a whole different perspective. I mean, of course, with inspired by Helen Keller. She started, from
That's right.
writing and whatever, inspiring the world, even though she was, all supposedly couldn't see or couldn't hear or whatever. Anyway, someone else, I can't see everybody because they're a little bit frozen, but you want to
I go.
go ahead, Sue.
Well, I have to say our community is very inspiring, very uplifting, and very comforting. I would say you are very inspiring to me. Your fortitude has helped me very much. Years ago, I worked in the Menorah Nursing Home, which at the time was predominantly, well, it was really almost entirely a Jewish nursing home. And many of the people on the floor where I worked, I ran a day room. Many of those people were Holocaust survivors and really went through unfathomable things. One of them was a woman named Lanka Chamovich, who always, I had very long hair. I was young, and she always liked to comb my hair and braid it. And then a few months into it, I read her history, where I learned that she was rounded up. She's from Czechoslovakia. She was rounded up. She had an infant, a relatively newborn infant under a year. So it was her, the baby, and her husband. And she was told to go online to get milk for the baby. And in the interim, her husband and infant were loaded onto a train. And that was the end of them ever seeing each other again. And what I learned from her, these were people who really were not all there at this point, but they were considered the least regressed of the regressed residents in this nursing home. And one of the things I learned from her was fortitude. She lived in a world where her husband and daughter were still very real to her.
Mm.
And that's where she drew the strength to be among the other people every day. Tomorrow I'll dig out drawings that I did of various residents. I have them tucked away. But you know, that resilience that people have, that deep thing that they can find, that we can find within ourselves to continue,
Right.
to kind of in adversity, just, you know, push it away and just live our lives is really an incredible thing. And when you can recognize that in someone else and kind of bring it into your own heart, then I really feel strongly that that is where our inspiration can come from.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, it's just incredible how we rebound, or it's something within ourselves in spite of all this incredible trauma that comes to us of events or physical or whatever. Thank you. How about you, Miss Adria? Can I point on you?
Yes. So I would say there's a lot of, I've taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of different people and a lot of different things. I think I kind of agree with what Barbara was saying, that it's not just like a person too, but it's a lot of things, like the magic in the world, the piece of wild things, which is poetry. There's Wendell Berry did that poem, and there's a lot of other poets, Mary Oliver, I mean, and I love John O'Donohue, the piece
yes.
To Bless the Space Between Us.
Yes.
Bluebirds or birds in general inspire me. Music, love, and children. Because they approach the world with this just delight. It's delight. They approach the world with delight.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And how about you, Miss Linda Boney? What people or aspect about human just truly inspires you?
Definitely say you, RD. You're truly an inspiration.
Oh,
Honestly, when I thought of you, resilience, just like Sue said, fortitude, just like Sue said, everything. The fact that you always have a beautiful smile on your face, considering your trials and tribulations, but it's I always think of that article that they wrote about you, cheerful chi and cheerful, because that's chi and cheerful. Bring together everybody inspires me also. It's not just one person. You are the top, and everyone else is also the top as well. So from us all going through different trials in life, whether it's now or back then or just everything. It's not just one thing. I think definitely you would say it's a combination of everything that gives me inspiration, and just even the day-to-day people that work. And not that I was never giving it a concern or consideration, but like, the grocery store workers since the pandemic and the bus drivers, I always say thank you to them and get me to my destination, things like that. Those are small things that inspire me. I would definitely say. And I was thinking my nephew too, because he's 28 and he's such a young man and he's so smart and he's just he's a godsend for me. Sometimes he had trials and stuff going on, but he always has a smile on his face and he's raising his daughter beautifully. So I'm really proud of him. So he inspires me too.
Oh, thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And Cousin Lana, what person inspires or what aspect inspires you from
Hi,
humanity?
everyone. Well, I've been inspired by hearing all of you on a daily basis, and especially hearing what Sue had to say and listening to our words that we actually contributed earlier in the year. Which reminds me, I got to help I have to help get it out. We created a design and I know it has to come out soon. Thank you, Sue. It was really good to hear your story about the people that you met. And Adria, also, it reminds me of the story you shared about the bus driver in the Holocaust. And I shared that on Facebook because it was so touching. And I think that inspired me to want to be a better person, which I think all of you are very much. Especially you, RD. But all of you, every time you share something, I feel like I'm learning a lot and opening my mind out. So please keep doing it.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
of you.
And Miss Lois, what person or aspect of human being inspires you?
Well, like Reverend Barbara said, there are many different people and many different situations, but what stands out to me the most are you and Heather. And, since our reconnecting in Mexico and all the things, the adventures we've been through together, and it really is such an important part of my life. And most recently, I'll say, on Sunday, I had a chance to go to Tom's daughter's house. Her in-laws were there. So we went to visit them. They recently lost their son to cancer, and they've been really devastated because it was a 2-year really tragic, journey for him of pain and suffering. So they're just devastated. And then we found out a few days earlier that their son, Eric, which is Tom's son-in-law, his best friend one of his best friends from college, committed suicide. And Eric was just, he described to us, he felt like he was drowning. So there we are at this visit. Eric was off paying his respects with his friends and, with Susan and George, and their grandchildren were in the yard playing and laughing everything in the middle of everything. There are these children that are just, they're just innocents. And they're blowing these bubbles and they're all excited. They had this thing with these giant bubbles and they figured out if you could put your hand in the bubble solution, when you blew the big bubble, you could stick your hand in the bubble and it wouldn't break. And they were so excited to show us this. And then a bubble landed on my knee and I didn't notice it. But then I looked down and it looked like I had a crystal on my leg. And it sat there until I got up. This bubble, it was maybe this big, just sat there on my knee for like forever. So in the midst of all the sorrow and the grief, the children remind us of the innocence of just joy and laughing with bubbles. So it was a very interesting, connection. And, so that inspired me to just look at things, look at everything, to be reminded, don't look at just one thing. You have to have a 360-degree view. And, I've been thinking about all of you every day, but I've been really struggling these past few weeks with moving and taking action and doing things. So I decided that, maybe I am affected by this whole year of pandemic. So what? Doesn't matter. Just, look for inspiration in nature. So spring came, I was outside on Sunday. It's puppy day. My sister keeps sending me pictures of this puppy dog that I think is so adorable. And I can't wait to meet her, but she lives in Florida, and then coming back here, I said, I'm going to make it here. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And I know that everything's just going to get better. So I thank you all for all of your inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you. And Raul, so good to see you. What person or what aspect about being us inspires you?
I haven't thought about it in deep, but somebody in India inspired me a lot, where he had invented something out of his own tree bark. He invented something for females hygiene.
Mm.
And when it came to making money out of it, although he comes from a very poor family, he decided to give it up for free. And he gave a long speech where he said that I know what all you engineers and MBAs and all top-notch lawyers will be thinking, that I have invented something new. Let's make money out of it. But you know what? I'm going to give it up for free. And I was doing some kind of a Googling on a book called by somebody called Chris Beats Cancer. And there was all kind of things that, did he really beat it? No, he had a surgery done, and he's just blowing it out of proportion. You know, he really never beat it, and he's making money. And there's one person who is against him, who is also giving us knowledge for free. So I think one quality, that you get to know something which is so powerful that can change the world, but you give it up for free. For the best of the humanity.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Yes.
That's a divine blessing.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. Yes.
Mm.
Very
Thank
good
you.
at planning.
And Miss Leticia, to anybody just inspires, or some aspects just kind of inspire you about human?
Good morning, everyone. Well, I have many. Of course, I have to say, like Lois, you are Dee and Heather, because you are both inspirational, you are both powerful, and you are both I don't want to say changing, but you are always vibrant. That's a good word. You are always vibrant. It's not static, it's vibrant. So that's really inspirational. And I would have to say, like Adria and Lois, children are just, they're just so open, many of them. And it's beautiful to see, and it's an inspiration. And a few years ago, I was going to a shop, and there was always music outside, and a little girl and her father were coming out of the store, and the little girl started to dance. She must have been 3, and the father danced with her, and it took 30 seconds, but they were both in the moment and both enjoy. So I told the father, it's such a good idea that you take the time to just enjoy the moment. It's such a gift. And he was happy. He's like, hey. So children are really inspirational. And I have a very, very good friend, Daniel, whom you know, RD and Heather, and you met him. And he has been through many, many difficult trials in his life, but he's always he has fortitude, and he is always looking at the light and always striving to have peace and serenity and just be optimistic, even though he has been surrounded by very difficult situations. So that's inspirational. When people are optimistic and hopeful, and they believe in something greater than just their present knots, if I can say.
Thank you, Ms. Leticia. And Miss D, so great to see you.
I do. All lit up.
I know, it's like too bright, sorry.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you. Well, you know, RG and Heather, you are beyond inspiring. That has to be said, of course, right out of the gate. And I always felt this way, even before RD, before you got sick. I always felt you guys were so inspiring, just so always striving to be gentle, always striving to be generous, to be unconditionally loving. And then the cancer hit, and it was like, and you're still doing it, what you would think would be the worst thing in the universe that could happen to you. And, and you are still the same people that you were before. You're still gentle and generous and kind and loving and giving. You're so giving, you know. Well, it's been a couple months with this one here. We're ready to kill each other. It's terrible. It's just awful. Like, it's really hard to deal with the stress of it, and just the aggravation and the pain. You know. So I got to give that to you guys first and foremost. And then I just want to mention there are people who are the people that inspire me the most are also people in our political world that put their lives on the line to speak the truth, and will continue to do it no matter what, and who have over the decades, you know, especially in this country, you know, that I've been able to observe, the people that continue to stand up and tell the truth no matter what the cost, no matter what the loss or the danger, you know. These are the things that inspire me in people, you know.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
You're
Thank you. Yes. And Miss Heather.
Well, first of all, I am so touched and humbled and can't believe that I inspire anyone with grateful, and feel like I'm about to cry. Like, I just feel so touched. Thank you. And all of you inspire me. I think I get inspired easily. I get inspired by different people, like every day or all the time, or from all of you, or something one of you said might spark something, or spark me to write about something, or spark me to think a different way, or it could just be a simple sentence that you don't even know you said, but it inspires me. When Sue was speaking, I recalled in the bells earlier, we had talked about Edith Eger, and she had survived the Holocaust. And she so inspired me, what she went through and how she had to pretend to be dead and saw her, you know, her sister die, and became a psychologist to help others, and how she has no judgment whatsoever, no prejudice, against anyone. And she inspired me so much that she wrote a book and became on the New York Times bestseller list in her 90s. I mean, that inspired me.
Amazing.
I still have time to do something.
Yeah.
And my biggest inspiration has been RD. I can't even explain what we went through. And for someone that was told they become paralyzed by just getting out of bed and taking an ambulance to the hospital every week for an appointment, like actually getting into it took a long time to actually get into these ambulances and prop them up with pillows, and I don't know who's got background stuff going on. But anyway, it was just such an inspiration to watch him actually have a smile on his face and joy and happiness and have a reason to live or to get out of bed each day. Was so inspirational for me and so uplifting and so positive, that helped me shift and get through what we were going through. A lot of days was much worse than he was emotionally going through it, probably because he was all drugged up. But I was so inspired because I don't think I would have had the fight or the will to live like he did. And people don't realize how much he's still going through because of his happiness and his demeanor. And he still wakes up with a smile on his face and happy every day, even though he's still going through it. It's just not as like we were. I mean, compared to what we were, it's a breeze compared to, you know, where we were. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody. I'm very touched, but also I really sincerely thank for all of your comments about, you know, what inspires us, you know, just about being human. And I think as Lois is saying, you know, this pandemic is very draining for all of us. And maybe we, you know, don't know really what the depth is how it's affecting us. But I know that our Bells family is definitely keeping us afloat among, you know, all of this, you know, all of this chi energy, which is really, draining the earth, or draining humanity, from all of this and all the issues and layers and politics and vaccines and masks and families. I mean, it is very draining in essence. But somehow, and I'm also going to connect with Lana, how, I think we have all connected in the sense our hearts are so open. We hear little bits of pieces of shared, stories and experiences that just sparks, joy and inspiration within each of us. And I think that's what's keeping us going. So our lighthouse is still beaming away, which is really fantastic. And, I just really, truly appreciate all of you. And here we are. Look at it's the 23rd of March, 2021. It's over a year since the official, pandemic. And of course, our whole world has turned upside down. And we're still here. And I really appreciate all of you. But, we need to draw inspiration from people and experiences and other people and events that just uplifts our chi. Because if we don't, then we're gone. So anyway, um, any other comments before we go into our meditation? So I can't see anybody moving because everybody's frozen. But
I'll say something if that's okay.
please.
I think all of us through your tutelage, I'll say it that way, have been able to dig very deep. We could be a community of people who is very superficial.
Mhm.
Though we meet every day, we see each other for 40 minutes or whatever it is, we could have all opted to just remain very superficial. But we may say just a word or a phrase or share something that happened to any one of us. And I think we just dive much deeper. And because of that, for me, that I just have so much respect for each of you bearing yourselves to all of us. Just in some case, I mean, to me, all of you are strangers. So, I appreciate that tremendously. And it really, every day, last week I wasn't on for, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. And I felt it so deeply. So thank you all for showing up.
Yes. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue. Maybe so on that note, I'm going to mute everybody and then we'll go into our meditation. How about that? Okay. So let's just relax and just breathe. And just put your feet flat on the floor and really feel the solid earth beneath us. Clear our minds and just gently breathe in and breathe out. And let's just relax. And let's begin our time with the ringing of the bells of hope. And just truly relax in our chairs, wherever that might be. And let's imagine that we're outside, maybe outside in nature. You can feel the sun shining on our faces, the gentle breezes, feeling the uprising chi of spring energy, new beginnings. And let's just welcome this positive chi energy from the sun and the moon and the stars and the rain to gently, gently come along the central channel of our bodies, gently connecting into our hearts. Our hearts just filled with gratitude and good health and contentment. Gently, gently connect to the lower dantian, the center of our being, and just breathing in and breathing out, and gently, gently connecting to the roots of our legs, going down deep, 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 deep down, connecting to Mother Earth, heaven, humanity, and earth. And just gently breathing in and breathing out, and relax. And just relax our heads and our necks. Relax our shoulders. Relax our arms or our wings, our elbows. Relax our wrists, our hands, even relax our fingers. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring our attention to our hearts and just allow our hearts to relax, filled with love, purple chi energy. Relax the lower dantian, the golden stove, our hips, our legs, our knees. Even relax our ankles and our feet and our little toes, just feeling the soft but the solid ground beneath us. Relax and breathe. And let's just listen. Listen to the universe. Maybe listen to God, or simply listen to the silence in our hearts, and gently breathe in and breathe out. And wherever that you are in this beautiful contemplative space, whether outside, sitting by the lake, overlooking the calm blue waters and the mountains surrounding us, or the beautiful green trees, or maybe we're in a church, a cathedral, just in awe of the beautiful space with the stained glass windows, or in a temple with Buddha or Kuan Yin or the Virgin Mary, and just be grateful. Grateful for the light and shining chi, the best of humanity. And let's just gently, gently, gently take our hands and actually put your hands out to the sun. So maybe your palms are connecting to the sun, and to the moon, and to the stars. And just have your hands, your arms very relaxed. And the Lao Gong, or the center of our palms, connecting to the chi of the source, the sage, God. And just welcome this energy, filling our entire being, purple, healing chi energy, strengthening our resolve, our confidence that all is well. Energizing all of our chakras, filled with love and hope and resilience and fortitude. Now gently, gently, let's share our light and our love to all the people who are in grief, who are sick, who are in need of our chi energy to maintain their strength. Now let's just gently, gently, gently take our hands and put into a prayer position. And just relax and breathing in, breathing out, and just feeling grateful. Grateful for our Bells family and for the support and for this uprising chi energy of spring with the sun and the crocuses and the flowers and the little birds chirping in the distance. And let's close our time together with the ringing of the bell. Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om. Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om. Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om. Om Mani Padme Om. The six true words, just welcoming compassion, kindness, joy, hope, and love. Just slowly, slowly open your eyes and just gently, gently rub your palms together. And gently, gently tap. Tap, tap, tap along your face and along your head. Gently tap and wake up the chi energy along your meridians of your arms, the bottom part of the arm, the top part of the arm. Tap, 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 tap. Gently tap your heart, your thighs, with that little thumping like little rabbits on the ground. And if you want to unmute, please welcome. But happy Tuesday. Yes. Yes, happy Tuesday. Enjoy this beautiful day. It was so great to be with you. And thank you so much for sharing your insights and your love. We love you very much. Have a beautiful day.
Have a wonderful day.
You
We
too. Have a
love you, Heather. Love you, RD.
great
Love
day.
everybody. Mwah.
Love
Love
you
you
all.
guys.
Love you
Thank
all.
you. Love you all.
Love
Bye-bye.
you all.